reason younger women don't like no introduction to that other than some common sense. If you don't know who he is, you've been sleeping under a rock probably all your life. It's nice to meet you, bro. Pleasure to have you to the show.
Yeah, man, thanks for having me here.
Now, the crazy thing is a lot of people don't realize that you have history that you go back to the late 90s.
Right.
We know that you was born in Kingston.
Right.
I always wanted to know, what is a reggae artist from Kingston hang out between borough-wise when he's in New York? Is it Brooklyn or the Bronx?
Listen, man, most of the time I think it's the Bronx or Queens.
Or Queens too, that's right.
Yeah, man, Queens, because it's close to the airport. But it's either Bronx or Queens, you know, where the food spots are, you know.
People don't realize there's a big West Indian culture in Queens as well. That's very true, and it's close to the airport. Now, I always wanted to know that because we always have the perception of Brooklyn.
Right.
But Brooklyn stand up, of course. Bronx stand up. You know, I was doing some research, and they actually said that you retired from the game for a little while. Is that true?
Well, I tried to at one point to take a break, but it didn't happen, you know, because you know the records keep coming, the shows keep coming, you know. So it's, you know, the business never stops.
It never stops, and the crazy thing is, I always say that when an R&B artist takes a break. When a rap artist takes a break, it's known. But reggae artists can lay low and then come back and do a dub, and that's what they do.
Right, definitely. Sometimes you know, you're just traveling all around the world and, you know, getting up on those early morning flights. Sometimes you don't want to spend some time with your family, you know, with your kids and stuff like that, you know. But you know, it is what it is, you know. If the work is there, you gotta go do the work.
Now you lay low in Jamaica, of course, right?
Right. Yes. Sometimes we do that.
Now, considering with the family and all, was it therapeutic to you enough where, like, okay, I'm back, this is what I'm doing? I mean, you came back with the Beyonce, you came back blasted, so.
Well, it was short-lived, you know, it was short-lived. You know, but I'm always doing music. Sometimes we're doing music that's big in the bass market, but it does not reach on you guys' radar. Beyonce reach on you guys' radar. Broke It Down reach on you guys' radar. Heads High, you know, I Am Blessed, those songs, you know, but we're always working in the bass market.
So basically you was already hitting different levels now.
Yeah, man.
Now, how do you feel with the fact that since the dance music has took over? I mean, I'm a big fan of dancehall. I'm a big dancehall, calypso, all the above. So being that I have such a love for West Indian culture, with dance music, is it somewhat similar to a lot of the music that you put out where it wasn't that hard to do that transition?
I just think I'm a person that does different genre. I does reggaeton, reggae, dancehall, pop music, dance music, you can name it. I just think if you bring your energy to a dance beat, you know, you're just bringing your energy to a different genre. You see what I'm saying? So I see it as music, you know?
And we see it as talent. Because you're definitely talented. And now the next thing here, now we're actually here for a release of your video. And that's what it's all about. You know, Fat Man Scoop was just showing you much incredible love. Give us a little layout on this video, what it's about. Being that we know that you're in so many different levels of songs, which one would this go under?
Well, listen, mate, this is totally out the box. Because after taking on fans from like a Beyonce fan base, yeah? People start looking at you. So, of course, you know, you want to reach the world.
Right.
So sometimes you have to get with a Fat Man Scoop, you have to get with a Sean Paul, who is doing this type of music too, and it's working out there in Europe and different markets. So we're just trying to tap into different markets, not trying to just be, you know, labeled as just a dancehall artist.
Yes.
You know, but being labeled as an artist, you know. So, you know, we're just tapping into different markets and you know, whatever happens, you know, we're grateful.
Well, I think that's what's happening now, because I think there was years ago there was only a few states in the United States that was really representing dancehall. It was New York, of course, New York City, Jersey, Connecticut, Of course, Canada, of course, well, very selective few, but you didn't hear too much of dancehall, you know, because it was more exclusive. But now, I think now with these artists, they were able to pave ways to pop artists where it was like, listen, we still could get down and dirty and do that dancehall, but we're gonna get on this pop record, and now people know more so who Mr. Vegas is a lot more than ever right now.
Yeah, man, and we're expecting big things, you know, so, you know, we're just wishing for the best, you know, and it's good for the music, it's good for the Caribbean artists, you know, for people not just to label us as just one dancehall artist, but people can see that we can at least sell some records, you know.
Now, I noticed another thing that y'all too that I acknowledge. Reggae artists stay in the game for many years. At home, when you back in, you know, Ochi or any of the above, you know, that's obviously I got the love out there to say that. You know, what happened to on the Shelly Thunderstorm and the Lady Saws, there's the Super Cats. Like, do y'all still get together and still do local events?
Of course, Super Cat was just in Jamaica. He came back and after years and did one of the biggest festivals in Jamaica. And, you know, it was well supported, you know.
Reggae artists go forever. And let it be known. Now, tell them how they can follow you. I'm pretty sure it's self-explanatory.
It's Mr. Vegas Music. Mr. Vegas Music on Facebook, Mr. Vegas Music on Twitter, Mr. Vegas Music, everything.
Vivo, all the above.
Everything, Mr. Vegas Music.
We appreciate you. AskNathaniel.org, more than just a lifestyle. It's amazing, young.